Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole with Made from Scrap, and today I'm going to go over the construction for the pages for my portrait album. I'm using Call of the Wild paper collection by Echo Park, and this is the second album that I'm making with this collection. So if you take a look at the links and information below, you'll see my instructions that you can do separately for the lay flat album cover, and that's this. And then I have my hinge piece that I'm going to be using. And then I have all of the paper pieces that are alphabetically labeled. But let me first do a walkthrough of the page. All three pages are going to be the same, and there are 3 pages. On the front, we have this belly band that slips down or up. It just slides anyhow. And you have a waterfall. So this is a dueling waterfall. You have 2 flaps here, and then of course that can come off, and you have 2 flaps down here, and you end up with a very large opening here for a large photograph. And then that easily slips back on here, and that belly band is made up of 2 pieces. So slip that back on, and then after you turn your page over, what you're going to see is a left side flap here and a right side flap, and that right side flap also has a top flap on it like that. And once both of those are open, you're going to see the base page construction, which is the page A, the 1 sheet of paper there, and then this piece right here, which is the belly band pocket. So this is becomes a pocket once we put our page on our hinge, but until then it is a belly band. Okay, so you add that on first. So we're going to go through the construction of this together, and I am going to grab one of my base pages, and I am going, that is piece A, and then I'm going to grab one of my belly band pocket pieces, and that is piece B. I'm going to burnish all my edges here and here. Move this out of the way. Okay. And then I am going to add my adhesive to the back sides of those flaps. And I'm going to stick this right down at the right hand side. Because right now it doesn't matter what is the front and back. I'm just starting with these pieces. And from that you can see that now it is a belly band. But once we stick the hinge piece in the side of it, you're going to end up with that closing up the belly band and making it a pocket. So that's how we'll end up with a pocket. Okay, so next thing to do is I flip it over, and I am adding my waterfall pieces. So for each page there are 4 pieces for the waterfall. I'm just going to burnish those quickly. And then I'm going to add some glue to the back side of that flap. And I am centering this along the bottom of the page. So you should have about 1/8 of an inch on either side. I'm going to open that up and put the second one right there against it. Okay. And then I'm going to do the third and fourth one along the top. And this is also going to be centered. Just burnishing that down. And then the last waterfall piece, I'm just going to snug that burnished edge right up against that 1/2 inch flap of the prior one. And just make sure that you're straight along your edges. And you match up with the bottom as well. Give that a good burnish. Okay, so you should have those 4 flaps, just like that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our belly band slide part 1, and you should have 2 score marks on that, and we're going to burnish that. That should be able to fit right around your waterfall, just like that. And you'll end up with a gap, but then you're going to take your part 2 for that belly band slide, and we're going to center that. So we're going to place glue along the edge of that part 2, and then glue along the edge of the part 1. And that way I have a good stick, and I'm just eyeballing it center. Right at the center. Just like that. And now that's going to be our slide. Let me see right here. Just going to tuck this in. Right there. Slide it up. Okay, see, I was getting glue on there. Okay, and now I'm going to flip this back over, and I'm going to be working with my right side flap. I'm going to burnish the edge there. And on this one, I'm going to be placing my adhesive on the inside of that folded 1/2 inch, because I'm going to be gluing to the inside of this belly band here, this piece B. And I want to just snug the edge of it right up against that score line, but not over it, the score line. And I am just eyeballing this to the center. Okay, and then my next piece is going to be the right side top flap. So I'm going to score that and burnish it. Place glue along the outside of that 1/2 inch flap, and then that scored edge is going to go right up against the edge, top and left hand side of that lower piece. So you place piece G, I'll show you here. This is piece G right on top of piece F, but you have it all the way over to this left hand side, so you do have a gap on the right hand side, which that will be up against the hinge, so you want to keep that space. And then the last thing we'll be doing is this left hand flap. So that is going to be our left side flap, piece H. place my glue. And then I am sticking this all the way down at the bottom left-hand corner. So I am lined up with the bottom and lined up with the left-hand side. Okay. And for this closure, what we are intending to do here is the use of a brad for, let's place my pencil for the closure. Well, where did I put my pencil? Get another one. Place a brad there so that I can cover it with decorative paper, but I'm intending to use a swing tab, which I will show in just a little while. So I'm going to be right back after I put together my third page. Okay, we're going to be working with our covers at this point. So you should have two pieces that measure 4 inches by 8 inches. And we're going to go ahead and score on the 8-inch side, a 1/2 inch on both sides. And then on one side, on the 4-inch side, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. So we're creating a pocket. I'm going to do that with both of my pieces. I'll start on the 8-inch side and score at 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch. And then again, a 1/2 inch on the 8-inch side. So I have a pocket there. And then you should have two pieces that measure 2 by 8, and we're going to score on the 8-inch side at 1/2 inch on both ends. So at 1/2 inch and 7.5. Same thing with this other one, only on 2 sides. Okay. Going to go ahead and burnish just quickly all of my pockets, or both of my pockets, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out the corners entirely. These ends. Right here. Those 2 pockets, and then I have these, basically a belly band. I am also going to go ahead and just place, you can do this 2 ways. You can place a little mark just 1/4 inch up from what would be the bottom. This is with the sides burnished, folded under, 1/4 inch up from the top. Just using my grid mat for that. Okay. And what we're going to do is gonna place the pocket. Now I like to fold the sides in first and then fold the bottom up. So I place a little bit of glue there on the corners of my pocket and then fold up the bottom piece and allow that to dry. Just give it a little burnish there. That way my paper doesn't get stuck, and I will be gluing this right to here. Okay, so I'm going to place glue on all 3 of those 1/2-inch sides. Place it even with this outside bottom corner. Align the edge and align the bottom, and then give it a good burnish. Just like that. Now that second piece, those guidelines should help you to be able to stuff this down in. But what you need to do is from that little mark, you're gonna cut off just that piece, just like that, little corner. This just takes some of the bulk of this piece out, and what we're doing is going to, so fold these under, just like that, and then we're gonna end up tucking this in to the bottom pocket. And all you need to do is to make sure that you have tucked in that little tiny bit. Now see, that's why I'm doing a dry fit, because I'm a little bit long on my measurement here. So I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming here. Let's see. Make it just a little bit shorter. Of a piece. Pulling it back, burnishing it good again. So now I have a little tiny piece to take off. Okay, we'll give this a shot. Here, so tuck those in again. And that fits much better. Those 2 markings just allow me to know that I have it actually tucked in and it's even, it's not a little wonky. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Like I said, it helped by taking out some of the bulk underneath this pocket, but you can use the outside edge of your cover for a guideline for making sure it's straight also. So I'm going to place glue on the back side of those, and then I'm going to make sure to tuck that in on one side and then tuck it in on the other, and just make sure I place it all the way down to my marks and I'm aligned on this outside edge, and then I'll do some burnishing. Just like that. And now, because of doing that, you have 2 pockets that go all the way down. You have this one goes all the way down, and you have this one. You see they're at the same height. That'll be easier to see. So it goes all the way down full depth. Okay. And now we are going to do the same thing on this back cover. So I'm going to start with my pocket here. I'm going to fold in the sides and place a little bead of glue on that corner. I burnish that down, and now I am going to glue this down to the inside of my album. Line that outer corner. And then burnish it down. Again, a little dry fit, and I can tell that that is the same length, so I am going to just pull this in ever so slightly to shorten it up. And then again, I will snip off that little piece there on the bottom. So just a portion of that 1/2 inch flap is what you're cutting off. Let's see if that fits better. And it does. Just tuck that in. There we go. And make sure to line up your outside edge. Once you do, burnish it down. Okay, next part is the hinge. So I have the measurements below. I score at every 1/2 inch along the way, and then after I do that, I place this back in my cutter and I just take off just ever so slightly a little sliver, and it is literally like a 32nd of an inch. I do that on both sides, just like that. So those outer 1/2 inch scores are actually just a little bit less than 1/2 an inch. And now I am just going ahead and doing my hinge so I can show you. End up with 3 hinges, just like that. So the outside 2 1/2 inch things form a mountain, and then you have a gusset, and then a 3rd mountain, just like that. So let me go ahead and burnish this. Like that. We have our hinge, and now underneath the mountain is where the glue is going to be placed so that you could glue those together. So underneath the mountain is where that glue is placed. What's coming to mind is like fracking. The good stuff is underneath the ground. I don't know why. All right, now we have our triple hinge. Okay, so this is ready for the album. But before I go and place this down, I'm gonna go ahead and put my decorative paper down here because that's what I like to do. So I will be right back. Okay, I have my piece down, and now I'm gonna go ahead and glue down my hinge. So I place glue beneath, not on the hinges themselves, but only on that middle section. And I am pretty much eyeballing this as well. That is a technical term. Don't get too carried away with it. I'm placing some pressure along that with my finger initially, and then I will burnish it as well. I'll bend these hinges over one way and the other. Good burnish. And now we are ready for our pages. So start with this. Okay. So the waterfalls are actually the front page, front of the page. So I want to go ahead and place some glue right along the top of these hinges on both sides. Before I put this inside of the page. Belly band. Okay, and the wet glue gives me a little bit of time to move stuff around and make sure that I have an even page dimension on the bottom, on the top, that it's straight. I do not feel the need to put my page all the way down on the hinge. I just want to make sure that it's actually on the hinge, and I also want to make sure that my page is straight. So then I'll go ahead and do some burnishing here. The belly band is not getting glued down. That is on the waterfalls. So if I were to take this off, you can see that I should be able to burnish very nicely. Okay. Turn the page, you have these flaps, just like that, but we'll have a swing tab. To the next one. I'm aligning the bottom of this second page with the page behind, and I always start with my last page. I just find that easier because it will lay flat completely. I like making my pages a bit chunky, so mine don't always lay flat, but the cover itself lays flat. So that will help me to line up page by page if I do the last page first and then the next ones after that. So we go ahead and do this third page. Place some glue along the very top of that hinge only. Open up my belly band, start it onto the hinge at the top, and then slide it on the bottom part of the hinge. And then adjust the location that you have your page on the hinge to make sure that you're not all the way down at the bottom and you are straight with your other pages. That's it. Okay. And just like that, you have your album that is built. And now we get to do the decorating. I will see you back here for a walkthrough after I'm done decorating. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Okay, hello everybody. This is the walkthrough, and I just wanted to quickly show these are the scraps that I have left over from the whole paper collection after these 2 albums. So this is the second album, and I have the smaller one that I already did a video on and showed. So I have the opportunity to make some little ephemera pieces with this, or little card backgrounds, or that kind of thing. And I will do the same thing with these paper strips as well. So anyhow, just wanted to show you that. And now for the walkthrough of this album. As I mentioned, the album is 7 by 9 inches, and then it has a spine that is 1.5 inches wide. I did this little cut apart on the front, and I did use a sheet of the olive color artisan cardstock, the gray artisan cardstock in this paper collection, and a small portion of a sheet of brown artisan cardstock. So with that, I was able to put this whole album together, decorate this whole album. So this is the front cover. I've left it very flat. That is the spine, and then this is the back of the album. And don't forget to put your little stamp on it, or your initials or something. So inside of the book, and inside the book I have 3 pages here. And so we already went through the construction of the album and how to, so I want to just go over how I decorated it. So we have these little stacked pockets, and here are some of the cut aparts. I left this one as a booklet. Some other cut aparts from the collection. And then with some of those leftovers, I went ahead and did some layering and then created this as a pocket as well, but it is ready for photographs. So I have that. Then I have the belly band closure here on the front of these flaps. So these are all ready for pictures. It slides, up and down this belly band. And there's another one. So ready for a few pictures there. And of course, that's another one of the cut aparts, and that's just layered up with some of the same ivory cardstock. That's artisan. There's the back side, and instead of some swing tabs for closures, I went ahead and just used some paper clips. So haven't done this in a while, but I think it's cute. I've layered up some of the cut aparts here, a piece of the paper collection that was left over. Open that up. You have this top flap here. That's your right side flap. When you open that up, then you have this pocket here. In the pocket you can put some additional papers, and you have that so cute paper collection. So, and this just goes right on like that. Here's the next one, cut apart, slide it down, and then you have these right here. There. You know, the whole thing about this is that it's an interactive book. So slides, paper clips, that kind of thing. Makes it very interesting when you put your pictures in there. Here's another one of the cut aparts. And that cute compass paper. There we go, another pocket. Paper clip that down. Here's the last page. So go ahead and slide this one down. And you have this. Then you have this one. Cute, so cute. Ready to put pictures for a camping trip. And then on the back side, we have another one of the cut aparts here. And I just used a couple of strips that were left over for some little decoration there. There you go. Open it up again, one of the cut aparts, and then paper piece some pieces together in order to make a spot for photographs. Put this back on, and then here is the back pocket, again with some of those cut aparts. And then another place for a photo spot, photo mat. And that's another one of the cut aparts there. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this paper collection. And until next time, happy crafting, you all. Bye.